Hello, everybody. To everyone at Haaretz and the New Israel Fund, congratulations on your first ever conference here in the United States. As Israel's oldest newspaper, Haaretz has never been afraid to speak truth to power. Over the years, I've turned to you as well for your reporting and analysis. You're part of a vibrant media, the freedom of speech in the press that's essential to Israel's democracy. To all of you gathered there today, Americans, Israelis, Palestinians, and friends from around the world, thank you for coming together to work for the future and the justice that we seek, including a just and lasting peace between Israelis and Palestinians. Your conference comes at a critical moment. Inexcusable violence has taken too many lives: Israelis, Palestinians, Americans, and others. I've been clear that Palestinian leaders have to condemn the ongoing attacks and stop incitement. Individuals responsible for violence, including violence against Palestinians, have to be brought to justice. And we call on both sides to work to diffuse tensions, exercise restraint, prevent more loss of life, and restore calm. Of course, the best way to reduce tensions and ensure Israel's security is to continue working in concrete ways towards a two-state solution. I want to thank Haaretz and those of you there today for your unwavering commitment to peace. As president, I've made it clear that the bonds between the United States and Israel and our commitment to Israel's security are unbreakable. Our security and military cooperation is unprecedented. At times like this, it's important to reaffirm what we know is true, so I'll say it again. Peace is necessary, just, and possible. Peace is necessary because it's the only way to ensure true and lasting security for Israelis and Palestinians, and the only way to ensure that Israel remains a democratic Jewish state. Peace is just because a two-state solution will finally bring Israelis the peace and normalcy to which they are entitled, and Palestinians the sovereign state and dignity they deserve. And peace is possible if leaders and people are willing to summon the will and courage to break free from the patterns of the past and forge a new future. This fall, I sent my greetings to the peace rally marking the 20th anniversary of the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin. And I recalled some of the final words he spoke on that night. Looking out into the crowd, he said, "In coming here today, you demonstrate that the people truly desire peace and oppose violence." The same could be said of all of you there in New York. Thank you for your unyielding commitment to the peace we know is possible. In this work, you'll always have a strong partner in me and in the United States of America.